WXXV.
Good evening and welcome to News 25 at 5 o'clock. I'm Lori Buring. A Gulfport man is charged with sex crimes against a juvenile. Harrison County Sheriff's Office arrested 37-year-old Jeremy Walker on 1 count of statutory rape and 1 count of sexual battery. He also faces a charge of enticing a child to meet for sexual purposes. His bond is set at $500,000. Sheriff Troy Peterson says investigators received a report of statutory rape and identified Walker as a suspect. He was arrested at his home on Thursday. Gulfport police have charged a man with trying to injure officers by charging at them with a knife. Officers charged 44-year-old D'Artagnan Jovan Chandler with 2 counts of attempted aggravated assault on a police officer and 1 count of attempted aggravated assault. Bond is set at $750,000. The incident happened about 6 p.m. yesterday when patrol officers saw a man in the road acting erratically. When they approached, he charged the patrol car and struck it with the blade of a knife. Officers backed off and then got out of the vehicle. One officer drew his weapon, the other had a less lethal shotgun. Chandler continued allegedly to charge despite officers' commands to drop the weapon. An officer used a shotgun and hit Chandler, who fell but refused to comply with commands to drop the weapon. He then was tased and taken into custody. After Chandler's arrest, another person came forward and said Chandler also charged him with that same knife. The Texas man who fatally shot 23 people at an El Paso Walmart in 2019 has been sentenced to 90 consecutive life sentences. Patrick Crucius pleaded guilty to 90 federal charges in February, including 45 hate crime charges. The sentencing phase began on Wednesday with multiple emotional impact stories from the relatives of the victims. It comes nearly 4 years after Crucius drove more than 600 miles from his home near Dallas to target Hispanic shoppers in El Paso. In a separate state case, Crucius may still face the death penalty. Shortly after the sentencing, defense attorney Joe Spencer and federal prosecutor Ian Hanna spoke about the case. Looks like we're having some technical difficulties, but the initial date for the state trial against Crucius has yet to be scheduled. Now for a check of the coast forecast, here's weather forecaster Jeff Warwick. Hey, Jeff.
Lori, you brought the sunshine back.
Hey, I try my best.
Hey, you did well with it. Nice view right now from the Silver Slipper in Hancock County, showing you some direct sunlight along the beachfront. Very stubborn cloud coverage has cleared out. The sunshine's a bit filtered now as cloud coverage has started to filter back in with some thunderstorms, but nevertheless, always a nice view down in the Hancock County shore. Some very isolated rains in view, but not a ton of coverage with rainfall, as not a lot of heating really to get through the layer of warm layer aloft and really provide for thunderstorms, but it is still kind of hot. 92 Bogalusa is a hot spot along with Pascagoula, 88 Biloxi and Ocean Springs, and I'll tell you what, heat index is uncomfortable in some spots with 104 Gulfport and Pascagoula. Quick look at your Mississippi Power hometown forecast. Wool Market, 30% thunderstorm chances early on.
A reminder for you, if you want to vote in Mississippi's upcoming August 8th primary election, you have to register to vote by this coming Monday, July 10th. You can register in person at the circuit or municipal clerk's office by 5 p.m. Monday, or you can mail in your registration application as long as it's postmarked no later than July 10th. And absentee ballots are now available through your county circuit clerk's office. You can mail in your absentee ballot or fill one out in person at the circuit clerk's office. A new marker has been added to the Mississippi Freedom Trail. American hero and civil rights activist Lawrence Guyot was commemorated in his hometown of Pass Christian. City leaders, family members, and friends gathered around what was once an old playground Guyot used to play on for an unveiling of the new Mississippi Freedom Marker. The civil rights leader played an integral role in the dismantling of voter discrimination. In 1964, Guyot was elected chairman of the Mississippi Freedom Democratic Party, and his efforts helped pass the Voting Rights Act in 1965. Julie Guyot says this means a lot to her father's legacy.
It means a lot to have a marker set on the Freedom Trail when I know how central that was to my father's heart and his vision of the world. This is the community that nourished his activism, his journey as a man, as a politician.
Guyot earned his law degree and moved to Washington, D.C. to work toward justice for the remainder of his life. He died at the age of 73. The U.S. labor market grew at a slower than expected pace in June, giving economists optimism that the Federal Reserve could stick a soft landing on lowering inflation without sending the economy into a recession. Karen Caifa has the numbers and the details from Washington.
The U.S. jobs market starting summer with a cool down.
Not too hot, not too cold. I think it's exactly what the Federal Reserve would be looking for.
The Labor Department said Friday that U.S. employers added 209,000 jobs in June, a drop from May's hot pace of 306,000, and missing economists' expectations, but giving hope that the U.S. will dodge a recession amid the Federal Reserve's efforts to stem inflation.
The data, the Bureau of Labor Statistics data, I think are consistent with where the Fed wants to see the economy going.
The June numbers mark 30 consecutive months of job growth for the U.S. economy. The unemployment rate ticked down to 3.6%, the Biden administration touting another streak.
We've had 17 straight months of an unemployment rate that is under 4%. We haven't seen that since the 1960s.
Many economists think the U.S. is on track for a soft landing, with higher interest rates curbing inflation but not tipping the U.S. economy into a recession.
It definitely is starting to look more likely. Inflation is coming down quite meaningfully, and wage growth has been moderating steadily, and that suggests that inflation could keep coming down in the coming months.
After a pause on its aggressive rate hiking campaign in June, the Federal Reserve will make its next decision on interest rates on July 26th.
No experience, no training, no problem. The Biloxi Fire Department is actively recruiting men and women looking to become a part of a team. Potential firefighters will be trained in several career fields, including emergency management, special operations, fire inspector training, and EMT paramedic training. Those interested must be 18 years or older, have a valid driver's license, and a high school diploma or GED. Candidates who already have civil service jobs can move their credentials over when they apply to expedite the hiring process.
One that might be a lateral, he or she have to have at least 3 years with a civil service department, being nationally registered EMT, and also, have some certifications that will qualify them as a lateral. So it's a little different, but we've got both slots that you can apply for.
Biloxi Fire currently has no deadline to apply. USM is heading to the high seas next weekend with a screening of Moana. The Gulf Park campus is hosting Cinema Under the Oaks next Friday, July 14th. The movie starts at 6 p.m. at the Fleming Education Center Auditorium. Concessions and games will be available, and all proceeds will benefit student organizations. USM Director of Academic Financial Affairs, Coastal Operations, Heather Miller, looks forward to bringing community members to the campus.
So the purpose of these events really are to bring community members onto the campus so that they can enjoy free fun with their friends and family, take the time to come and enjoy our beautiful campus and enjoy their summer together.
For more information, visit their Facebook page, Cinema Under the Oaks. Well, blues musician from Hancock County, Michael Grimm, who won America's Got Talent in Season 5, was hospitalized on Memorial Day with an undefined illness. Michael spent weeks in ICU on a ventilator while doctors worked to get him better. Well, today, his wife Lucy posted an update with some good news. Michael is able to speak and walk on his own after spending 3 weeks in a rehab facility. And while his singing voice is not back just yet, he's confident with some vocal exercises and training it will return. He also has to work on some finger dexterity to be able to play guitar again. A benefit concert will be held this weekend to help with medical bills. You can check out Michael Grimm's Facebook page for more information. In a heartwarming display of kindness, Mississippi Heroes were able to make history within their organization and change a life. Mississippi Heroes partnered with Champion Dodge to build their first ramp for Miss Faye Hogan. Faye was diagnosed with Guillain-Barré syndrome, a condition that attacks the nerves and causes paralysis. She and her husband, Richard, live in an elevated home in Pass Christian, making it difficult for her to leave the home. A friend, Vic Dehan, reached out to Mississippi Heroes after Richard expressed a need for a vehicle. Mississippi Heroes founder, Catherine Sutton, looks forward to expanding their services.
Just branched off into building wheelchair ramps and possibly doing repairs on caregiver homes that don't qualify for other programs in the state. And that's where the need is. We're here to fill a gap from other programs, and everything that we raise for our specific project will go back towards the program.
To learn more about Mississippi Heroes, visit their Facebook or website at mississippiheroes.org. We bring you a new week of Expert Talk with me, Lori Buring. Charlotte Terrell with Gulfport Behavioral Health System tells us about the impact social media could be having on your kids. Hello, and thank you for joining us on News 25's Expert Talk. I'm Lori Buring, your host. Joining me is Charlotte Terrell with Gulfport Behavioral Health System, here to talk about kids and social media. Charlotte, thank you so much for joining us today.
Thank you for having me.
Of course. I wanted you to talk to me a little bit about the Surgeon General's warning about social media and kids.
Yes. The Surgeon General was very specific in talking about how important it is to monitor the use of social media, because there's so much that goes on. There's the cyberbullying and there is the hate that goes on social media. And so it's very important for parents to monitor what's going on with their kids.
And what are some practical strategies for parents to do just that?
Setting the social media to private. Mm-hmm. Also making sure that you are monitoring and even timing how long they're having screen time.
And any warning signs of depression or anxiety that you want to forward to parents?
Yes. When they don't want to do the things that they were doing before, they don't have an interest in doing the things they really love doing. Mm-hmm. Dress attire may change, mood and appetite may change, sleep patterns, all of those things are warning signs. So when you start to see those things, please take notice and take it seriously.
Any other notes for parents that you want them to know about social media and their kids?
Well, I know I've had parents talk to me about privacy and kids' rights, but it's a matter of safety at this juncture. So really be mindful of how to keep your kids safe. That's really the important thing.
That's the most important thing.
Yes.
Of course. All right. Well, thank you so much, Charlotte, for joining us on News 25's Expert Talk. If you'd like to watch this segment, just go to WXXV25.com. Coming up, Jeff will have a look at the forecast. Plus, some Ocean Springs businesses are preparing for facelifts. We'll tell you about the grants when we come back.
And now, your weather authority.
Welcome back in from the break. Nice view from our Hancock Whitney Tower camera. Friendly neighborhood wasp, of course, giving us a nice bother, but a lot of direct sunlight in the last couple of hours. It has been a beautiful afternoon along a lot of the beachfront inland. Y'all got some sunshine earlier on too. distant thunderstorms, but things are mainly dry across the area. Even looking at pretty hot temperatures, Pascagoula, Bogalusa at 92 degrees, Ocean Springs and Biloxi, along with Bay St. Louis and Poplarville, all at 88 are the relatively cool spots. Other than that, really right around 90 degrees is where we sit. Some spots feeling like 100 to 105 degrees. But I mentioned rainfall few and far between really in the area. Some showers and thunderstorms weakening in portions of Pearl River and Hancock County. And near the Hurley area, just one shower along the edge of that thunderstorm in Mobile County. About a 30% chance of thunderstorms this evening, and much like the last 2 nights, some activity could develop later on. Not a lot of confidence just yet with that. Mostly cloudy skies, 76 degrees, not too uncomfortable, but the humidity is going to creep back up. 92 tomorrow, only scattered thunderstorm chances at best. Really another day, much like today, but more sunshine is going to be around, especially at the start of your day. This very unsettled pattern is going to stick around across a lot of our area with several disturbances and a very warm and humid air mass right along our immediate Gulf Coast. That's going to stick around, and it's going to provide for a lot in the way of rain chances. Clouds will clear out overnight tonight, though. You'll find more in the way of direct sunlight. And once you get that direct sunlight, you get some heating. That's when a sea breeze can pop in and create thunderstorm chances. Not necessarily widespread, but you'll see some activity moving through the area. Sunday is going to be the bigger day with rainfalls. You're going to have an impulse moving through the mid and upper levels of the atmosphere. It's going to make its way into our area. Combine that with activity already over the water with the land breeze moving in as a sea breeze. You're going to start to see scattered and numerous thunderstorms move in the afternoon, and there's going to be the potential for multiple rounds of heavy rainfall with this. And eventually that clears out, but it all starts again on Monday with this very unsettled pattern. No risk of flooding tomorrow. Any very isolated heavy rainmakers could cause some street flooding and issues like that. But on to Sunday, though, is where we have issues. You could have a slight risk of flash flooding in place for the potential for 2 to 3 inches of rain, even locally higher amounts at times. So turn around, don't drown, folks. You don't want to get trapped in a roadway and stall your car, or even worse, get yourself into even more trouble. This activity will likely come in the afternoon and beyond. Looking at hot temperatures this weekend, but rain chances will go up into Sunday. 90 degrees will be the high temperature. 92 tomorrow is going to feel like north of 105 degrees at times. So be sure to exercise proper caution when you're out in the heat if you do have to be out there. In addition to that, flooding rainfall on Sunday could also evolve to more of the same on Monday with this very unsettled pattern. I'm going to let you know when that breaks once you get a look at my final forecast here in a few minutes.
Small businesses in downtown Ocean Springs are preparing for renovations after being awarded facade grants by Ocean Springs Main Street. Main Street partnered with Mississippi Power and the United Way of Jackson and George counties to award nearly a dozen businesses in the downtown district. These grants will help businesses improve the outsides of their buildings, such as adding awnings, signage, and mural projects. Joanne Wheeler, owner of Coastal-Magpie, says she looks forward to improving her business.
We, Coastal-Magpie, have been awarded a facade grant to help us improve the front of our business. We are going to replace our awning, which is in poor shape, and it will enhance the attraction of the front of our building.
Ocean Springs businesses interested in applying for a facade grant can contact the Chamber of Commerce.